Hello, today I will talk about of Martin Luther King. He was born in January 15, 1929, Atlanta, Georgia. He was dead in April 4, 1968, Memphis, Tennessee. His accomplishment was leader of African American civil rights, Nobel Peace Prize in 1964, Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1977, a Congressional Gold Medal in 2004. Dr. Martin Luther King became the predominant leader in the civil rights movement to end racial segregation and discrimination in America during the 1950s and 1960s, and a leader, a spokesperson for nonviolent method of achieving social change. His eloquence as a speaker and his personal charisma combined with a deep-rooted determination to establish equality among of all races despite personal risk, won with a worldwide following. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964 and was selected by the Time magazine as the Man of the Year because he created a Happy Dream speech, which is now considered to be among the greatest speeches of all American history. He is frequently quoted. His success in galvanizing the drive for civil rights, however, made him the target of conservative segregationists who believed firmly in the superiority of the white race and feared social change. He was arrested over 20 times and his home was bombed. Ultimately, he was assassinated on April 4 in 1968 on the balcony of a motel where he was staying in Memphis. A monument to Dr. King was enabled in the National Capitol in 2012. Thank you.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice.